Welcome to Policy on Demand's Week in Review. I'm Rohit Kumar.
What would you tell clients are your takeaways from this week?
So my key takeaways from this week are the ongoing difficulty of House Republicans to elect a speaker just presages the next 2 years, which is that it's going to be incredibly difficult to get bills signed into law, not only because of the division within the House Republican caucus, but just the divided government we have, the Republican House, democratically controlled Senate, and a Democrat in the White House.
Which question related to policy did you get asked the most, and how did you respond?
The question I got asked most often this week was, are there going to be tax bills in 2023? And the answer was a definite maybe. Look, this is a tough environment in which to legislate, but there are some significant items that were left undone at the end of 2022. The 1099-K reporting requirement, there was no legislation. IRS did some regulatory relief, but they still need a statute to fix it permanently. 174, capitalization and amortization, was not dealt with. 163J, EBITDA to EBIT, was not dealt with. So there are some significant items that are left to be done. But it looks to me like if there's going to be any action in the tax code, it's probably in the second half of the year, with 1099-K probably driving that result, because that needs to happen before the end of the year to preserve the filing season in 2024.
Where should companies focus their attention in the coming week?
So in the coming week, you really need to just focus on the organization of the House. What concessions are ultimately made by Kevin McCarthy or whoever gets elected speaker, but Kevin McCarthy certainly wants to be speaker and is the lead candidate at the moment. And what concessions and how do those concessions sort of influence the ability to get things done? How vulnerable is the Republican speaker to a motion to vacate the chair? And how likely is it that Democrats join in that effort to vacate the chair? I think people are assuming that if a Republican makes a motion to vacate the chair to effectively depose the speaker, that every House Democrat will immediately vote to do so as well. I'm not sure that that is a foregone conclusion. I think we ought to be watching some of the problem solver Democrats, those are moderate Democrats who sort of pride themselves on doing deals in the middle, to see if they say anything about, look, if a Republican speaker puts a debt limit bill on the floor that preserves the full faith and credit of the federal government, we would not vote to vacate the chair if some Republicans are upset by that development. So look not only what concessions are made in order to be elected speaker, but then look and see what, if anything, do House Democrats say about their willingness to participate in potentially overthrowing a Republican speaker if they do something that some members of the Republican caucus don't approve of.